What's happening, y'all? I want to talk about something called harmless flirting. Harmless flirtation. Oh, it was just flirting. I was just giving a compliment. What's really funny is I've never really I could say I've understood the line between flirting, but not always. Sometimes it just hasn't been as clear to me as it should be. And you know, sometimes you're wondering what's flirting and what's going too far. Well, what's funny is I was just watching a episode of Dr. Phil, and there was a husband on there that did a lot of flirting, and he said, I don't think there's any harm in harmless flirting. And you know, Dr. Phil said, well, you know, what I've always said is, if you wouldn't do it with your spouse watching, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. And I think, you know, I was like, wow. I was like, you know, that is a really fucking good point. It's a really good point. Just think about it. If your girlfriend or your boyfriend saw you do what you just did, what would have fucking happened? For example, if I'm out and I see a girl, say I'm at a party and I see a girl with a real nice dress on, and I say to her, you know, that's a really nice dress. I mean, that's a really nice dress. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If I were to say, God damn, I mean, that dress, you are working that dress. Now, I wouldn't say that in front of Sarah, because I know that if she heard me say something like that, she'd be flipping out. You know what I mean? So people need to take that into consideration. I think another thing is reverse the situation. A lot of times people have a very, very hard time in general seeing things from the other person's side. People are very biased. And one thing I've always prided myself in after I got older and more mature is that I've learned to see things from other people's side. So I always think, how are they feeling? How would they feel? You know what I mean? Or how would I feel if it was done to me? How would I feel if this was done? I know a couple who recently had an issue, and the main issue was that the girlfriend did some flirting when the boyfriend wasn't around. She approached a man in a grocery store and told him he was hot, and if she didn't have a boyfriend, she'd be talking to him. And you know, when I heard about this, I asked the girlfriend, I said, well, if your boyfriend had done that, what would have happened? She didn't have anything to say, because she knew exactly how she would have reacted. She knew it was wrong, but she tried to justify it by saying, oh, well, it was harmless. It was just a compliment. The problem was later on, she ran into that guy again, and it caused some problems in her relationship with her boyfriend. So, there really is no harmless flirting. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are harmless compliments. There's just harmless things. Flirting really isn't harmless if you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? If you think about it, when you're usually flirting, it is a line that you cross where something goes from a compliment to flirtation. Some people have a very flirtatious nature, as that's just them. And hey, you can change your spots. I never say you can't change your spots. You can change them. I have to look at you and say, sometimes I say things that, you know, a lot of my girlfriends might just be, it's totally out of hand. Like, I really can't be saying that to, you know, certain girls, you know, like when you're with your girlfriend, and if you see other girls and you're always like, hey, beautiful, how you doing, beautiful? How you doing, cuteness? Hey, you, hey, sexy, how you doing? Come on, man. Even the most secure woman is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And other way around. If girls are with their man and every guy they see, hey handsome, how you doing, sexy? Like the man's gonna be like, you better kind of fuck down. You're not talking. No, I'm the only man that you're gonna call sexy. Alright? Handsome and all that shit. You call your dad and your grandpa handsome and your little nephews. Fuck that with all the motherfuckers my age. Whether you want them, you know, it's not insecurity. I think sometimes people just go too far with their compliments and they call it harmless flirting. Okay? No, what you are doing is flirting and you think that is harmless. It is not harmless. Now, hey, there are those couples that have that they have that dynamic between them, which I don't meet too many, where they're able to go overboard with each other all the time. They can talk about how hot another guy is or hot another girl is, wanting to fuck a girl and all this shit, and they point people out to each other in the mall like, hey, she's sexy, you'd fuck her, wouldn't you? Like they do that. But I don't know too many couples that are like that. So basically I'm saying the rule of thumb, just like Dr. Phil said, and I'm going to use that in my life from now on. There's a couple times I've gotten comments on my videos and I've replied in certain ways where, you know, Sarah was like, you know, you ain't really have to reply like that. And after thinking about what he said, she's right. Because if a girl had said it to me in person, and if I said what I said in the comment, I wouldn't have said it in front of Sarah. So I'm going to follow that rule of thumb. And you goddamn sure I'm going to enforce it on Sarah. She got a problem with it, you know, it's just going to have to be a problem. If you wouldn't do it in front of me, you don't do it at all right, Porcelain Princess? You got a snow leopard? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, subscribers. Woo!